What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Action Not Included. In this episode, we're probably going to be aiming to get into space. I did have the dupes work in the background in between episodes to get some basic stuff done, like a bunch of pipe exhausting and whatnot done. But during that time, we did have a few little hiccups and problems and some fixes I implemented that I want to go over real quick before we get into some of the more exciting things for this episode. So let's go over the recap of what happened. I needed to implement a better cooling solution in our steam power plants. One aqua tuner wasn't enough for all 10, which I kind of anticipated was going to be the fact, and I was hoping that I'd be able to solve it with 2. But 2 wasn't working either, so I implemented a 4 aqua tuner solution, which is basically 1 aqua tuner for every 2 to 3 steam turbines. So we now have 4 of them actively cooling down all 10 steam turbines. As you can see by the pipe overlay, it's just a big old crazy mess of loops and whatnot. So, but we got that working and got that solved. The other thing that we've got done is a better way to control the steam input and usage through some automation. What I've implemented is a dual Atmos sensor. Basically, what happens is if both of these detect less than 15,000 kilograms of pressure, or 15 kg pressure of steam, they tell the steam turbines not to fire because there's not enough steam. We don't want this to be empty because we want some steam for the aqua tuner's heat to dump into. So a complete vacuum is, bad idea. The other thing we also have controlling them is a smart battery. We have that set on a 90-60 threshold. So, charge up to 90%, start charging at 60%. In the case of our batteries, this is the first thing that will fire off for power in comparison to petroleum or natural gas or coal or hydrogen and whatnot. Speaking of petroleum, we did have the petroleum boiler break. I unfortunately did not see the exact cause, but I have an idea of what happened. And what I believe happened was we ran out of magma and we kept dumping petroleum or crude oil in here, and it kept boiling. But because we ran out of magma, we couldn't maintain, so we ended up getting too much crude oil in here that just wasn't flashing, which happened to overflow and push petroleum throughout this entire vacuum chamber we had and filled the whole thing up. And because the petroleum was completely filled the vacuum chamber and touching the hot plate, it caused the petroleum all to be 300, almost 400 degrees, which cooked our pipe down here. Which then, because we have broken pipe, we couldn't pump the petroleum out, which in turn just made the situation worse. So what I've done is I've set up some automation. And we have a liquid element sensor here. So if it detects petroleum, or not petroleum, if it detects crude oil, it'll send a green signal to our OR gate over here, which then goes to a filter gate. And if it detects it for, I think I have this set for 10 seconds. Yeah, for 10 seconds. So if it detects crude oil for 10 seconds or longer, it'll send a signal, and that signal gets converted to a red signal to shut off the liquid shutoff here. So that way we stop getting crude oil pumping in. I have it disconnected right now as I was doing a little bit of testing. It just got done implementing this fix, so I don't have it all hooked back up yet. I was waiting until the volcano fired again to restart up the boiler. The other part of the automation I've implemented was another hydro sensor. So if it was over I think I put 600 kilograms, it would also send a signal saying, hey, there's too much petroleum in here, stop sending crude oil. So that way, we don't flood out the petroleum boiler. So We have a way to turn it on and off, or for it to basically turn itself on and off, basically. So we got that fixed. So this should be, I would say, mostly self-contained now. But only time will tell. What's the other thing? I did that top Steambox solution to this steam power plant. We'll implement the same thing in the third one when we finally get that one made. We got all 3 oil wells up and running for the most part. This one got a little flooded as I wasn't paying attention, trying to pump out all the not oil out of it. But it'll get itself fixed once the boiler gets up and running. Oh yeah. We got 2 hydrogen gas vents tamed now. So not just 1, but 2. So we got this one. It's all hooked up and running, filling up these reservoir tanks right here with extra hydrogen to burn. We have successfully gotten the leaky oil fisher also tamed and pumping continuous oil down. Granted, it's a little backed up right now due to not being able to boil oil right now, but once we start only boiling oil, it'll be all set. We also have this hydrogen vent tamed up, so we have 2 hydrogen vents. So I don't foresee us running out of hydrogen power anytime soon. I pretty much have, I believe, almost all of our water geysers getting pumped down into our steam box. I think this is the only water geyser I don't actually have pumped in. And I think I might save this one for actual space exploration and use this one to create hydrogen and oxygen to liquefy for our final rocket. So I think we're going to save that geyser for later. We do have some other like steam vents and stuff we could try using, but I'm not really worried about taming those right now. What else do we got going on? What else did we do? Okay, so we got a little bit more automation in the base done. I finally set up a ice production system here to constantly make ice and feed the fertilize the aloe veras without having to have the dupes go down there all the time. So this is now more self-contained. I finally set up that hot room that I was talking about. We got our steam, our sauna, and our hot tub tied into our cooling loop solution over here. Working out great so far. No real issues. I did have to go in and fix a few things because I messed it up at first. But now that we've got it done, I finished sealing it up. That was something I was doing before I started this episode. So I need to finish that up. But, that's not a problem. That's easily fixed. But no, what we have is the output from the steam turbine comes over, feeds our hot tub, which is made out of steel and wood. It fills the hot tub. The hot tub's full. The output bypasses it, kind of like an aqua tuner, keeps going, comes out, and dumps back into the steam box. Then we have our steel gas pump pumping steam into our sauna with the same concept. Basically, it pumps it into the sauna. If the sauna is full, the steam will just carry on. And the reason why we have this loop is so that way the steam doesn't cool in the water and start breaking pipes. That's what happened. Was the steam cooled, broke pipes. I had to go in and fix it. Wasn't a big deal, but still something that had to be done. But yeah, and then as you saw, we have the liquid output tied into that, and then it dumps the water back in. So we don't actually lose any water with this setup, and it's just an extra way to use the heat that's generated from condensing and cooling the base. What else did I get done? Bathrooms are finally up and working. We got the bedrooms pretty much completely done and dialed in. Each thing set up with a cycle sensor hooked up to electric space heaters now instead of wood heaters. So we can stop using wood. That reminds me, there's another little wood project I'll show that we got up and running. So we have our 3 primary schedules. I have a plan for our 4th schedule, but it's not implemented yet. I was waiting to make an episode before I started implementing it. And then over here, what we've got going on is apparently a lot of broken pipes, but that's not. It's not what we're here to look for. We actually have this ethanol distillery set up to convert excess wood into ethanol, so that we have a permanent setup to feed the BAMIS, because we have yet to get our seals getting ranched, which is something I plan on trying to do when we work our way up to space today. But, you know, it was kind of like a 2-for-1, set up a farm and set up our space exploration station area. I added a second aquatuner to our volcano, and it's not because the volcano itself needed it, it's because our chill box down here to chill the iron down more needed it. And it's just because it was, for me, it was taking way too long. 1 aquatuner probably would have been fine if we had supercoolant, but we don't have supercoolant, so we gotta go with the 2 aquatuner solution. Let's see what else. I think that should be most of what's going on. I mean, we do have some things. That was it. And in the background, we've also been upgrading from standard heavy watt wire to the conductive heavy watt wire. So I've been having to break into areas and replace the wiring with more refined metals. We almost have this done. We just gotta make the liquid locks, and get this cleaned up, and then we'll have our cooling solution enabled. But we don't really need that much cooling to keep the RoboMiner and the other little bits of automation that cool in here. They don't. Surprisingly, the boiler is it's pretty low heat impact, really. If you know how to manage it right, it doesn't really cost a whole lot to keep it cool and keep it running. But that, I believe, should be most of. That was the other thing that we did, was we got rid of our coal production up here and strictly to hydrogen generators up there. So instead of running off of coal, it's back up. We now have hydrogen. And I implemented a couple more power transformer sections to get more base power wires ran. It's a big old mess of wires and cables, but everything's now actually tied into the main power grid, and we no longer have the dupes running on small little manual generators to power things. So, I'm glad I was looking at this. I did not re-enable our arcade and rec area because we were still having power issues at the time, but I feel mostly confident with that being solved that we can hook that back up now. Alright, so things I wanted to get done this episode was I actually wanted to that was the other thing that happened, was we actually got this unplugged. I unfortunately was trying to save it for the episode, but I didn't catch the geothermal heat pump getting filled with petroleum in time to stop it from maxing out. So we did pop the plug. I did record it, so I'm probably going to put in a little cut here for the in-game video and the little section of actually completing that. So I'll see you guys in a moment. Though the journey Though the journey has been long and marked with challenges that often seemed insurmountable, we have prevailed in harnessing this planet's core potential. We now stand proudly at the precipice of a sustainably powered future, and it's deeply humbling. I am hopeful that we have learned enough to wield this machinery more wisely than those that came before us. Alright, and that was how our geothermal pump got done. The other thing I want to actually implement now will be the little sewing synthesizer, which is basically the Dream Machine. We have wrong overlay. We have this pipe ran up to it because I believe it takes oxygen to run, and we have all of our excess oxygen machines feeding it. So we have our rust cleaner here, exports chlorine out here, and then pumps out the oxygen, and then the oxygen from our clay factory down here is also going to be pumped into it. So that should be the goals. I'm pretty sure this takes oxygen. But I was waiting for this episode to activate it, so let's get it activated. Oh, okay, yeah, we gotta wait for the dupe to show up. We do have all of the fossils done, so we can do that now. My duplicants have meticulously reassembled as much of the giant critter's scattered remains as they could find. Their efforts have unearthed a seemingly bottomless fossil quarry beneath the largest fragment's dig site. Nestled amongst the topmost bones was a handcrafted critter collar. It's too large to have belonged to any species traditionally categorized as companion animals. And we're going to activate our fossil quarry, which will give us our next little achievement thing. And now we can mine fossils infinitely for the cost of diamond. Granted, I find our current diamond supply is not renewable yet until we get to space, so I'll probably hold off on that and probably do like a poke shelf or lime instead, just because I find our diamond to be rather more useful as either decoration or, as what you saw with the boiler, a little bit more of a transmission system. What else do we have? And that's going to be what our next 5 dupes are going to be. They're just going to be all designated to making sleep journals and basically doing this whole section right here. Yeah, we just gotta wait for somebody to come and activate it. And we're also activate our critter flexomatic since we have that activated. So basically this is, basically story mode right now for us. That's kind of the focus of this episode. I guess it's gonna be story time. Okay, so you activated it. Do we just need to start piping oxygen into it to get it going? This is the first time I've actually done this story one. I've done the geothermal one a couple of times, and I've done the critteromatic one a few times. I haven't done the dream journal one. And then we gotta do this one. I think this one has to take 5 critters. Yeah. We should have 4 critters. I think we have 4 critters. We got hatches. We've got our flocks. We will have our mammoth. Yeah. Alright, so let's set up a drop off. And we'll set up a pickup. We'll set the pickup to nothing, the drop off to 1. And we're getting some oxygen pumped into here. Now, this should pretty much be continuously, quote-unquote, infinite oxygen for the most part. And there goes the oxygen. It's... Okay, yeah, no, it's piped in there. Okay, well, we're gonna need 1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay. I was counting. I was thinking it was dispensed automatically. We gotta wait for them to show up. Alright, well, we don't care about what these dupes do, so let's just pick some random dupes. Oh. Ooh. We do have liquid water in the base now. We could start a Paku Ranch farm so we can start making surf and turf. I know that wasn't the initial plan for the dupe, but I mean, we can get more dupes. Paku is a bit more questionable. And now we can do critter traps. We'll set these at kind of a high priority. And then we can set up a fish drop off. Is the fish drop off in here? Yep, fish release right there. We can. I'm thinking, is it right there? Is that the? Yeah, just see how it's getting blocked. Okay, so it won't override a tile. Okay, but we'll get the fish caught up. Get started on our Paku farm. And that should give us all of our 5 critters. Yeah, if we add the Paku to it and shove the Paku through the critter thingy, that should give us a total of 5. I think we could technically flood it at the end and do the Paku last and have the Paku swim through. I'll set that at kind of a high priority also. Okay, so they're gonna do that. They're gonna catch those fish. Put those fish in our water tank down here. Waiting to be armed. We'll set all these to an 8. So that way our dupes will prioritize arming those. And now we need to decide where we want to set up our rocket area. To be honest, I'm kind of thinking over here on this side. I'm thinking over here on this side simply because we do have this cool steam vent, which would give us access to steam for a steam rocket. We don't even have to make steam. It's just on demand, free, ready to go. And then also because we have our other water geyser here, so we can start trying to prep towards making liquid hydrogen and oxygen, so we can actually send a rocket to the rift. So I think this is going to be kind of the main start area for our space adventure. And I'm trying to debate Excuse me, sorry about that. I even hit the microphone and everything. The hiccups. How I want to lay this out. Okay, so I will be back after I have made a decision on this layout. Hopefully, it shouldn't take me too long. Okay, so I think I have the start of our space station. I guess I'm not sure what to call it, but it is definitely our way to get to space. So this is our space station staging area. That's what we're gonna call it. This is our space station staging area. So they're gonna come in. We're gonna have it sealed off from the outside world. So the only way in and out is going to be tube transit. Once it's done. Clearly, they need to build it, so can't implement that yet. But we will get this sealed in. Essentially, what's going to happen is we're going to have no more maximum of 8 dupes are going to be allowed in. Vacancy only. So we'll put a checkpoint here. 8 dupes. A little bit of a gap. Oh, hiccups, go away. And then we'll have our jet suits. And then we'll put our jet suit docking station here. They'll be able to climb or fly up. Go through the liquid lock. That's what this is going to be to help not constantly lose gases to space. And then this will be sealed in with a ladder up and out into space. We'll put a robo miner here for when we get meteorites or whatnot. I'm not sure what solution I want to go with for meteors. I don't know if I want to do a bunker door or if I want to do blast shot, or if I want to do a combination of the two. We'll figure that out. But the main thing I want to get done for the moment is to at least get the jet suits done and ready for space building, basically. But yeah, no, that's the deal. We have main power ran. We got the main power spline ran all the way up and ties in from over here. We then also have pulled petroleum from the power brick and ran it up here. We're running into a couple spare tanks, and we take some nice big long travel down and around. I still have to put some bridges in, but they've got a gazillion billion build commands right now. So but what's going to happen is these will primarily focus on making sure we have petroleum sent to the generators, and then once the generators fuel line is full, then and only then will we start shoving petroleum up to the tanks. No point in trying to have jet suits if you can't have power for them. So that's the deal with that. And then we have the transit tube. It's coming across. It's a little broken up, but I've got all those ladder bits set to get broken, deconstructed. So that's pretty much what we need them to do. Is they got a whole lot of build commands going on. So I'm gonna set them free or start the game up. And there we go. But yeah, no, that is going to be the start of our proper space exploration. I'm not sure how I want to handle farming the Sprigget seals. Do I want to handle that as part of space and they use the jet suits to get to it, or do we want to make that something that's kind of still inside the asteroid and accessible, but possibly built from space? I'm thinking we only probably need maybe 2. And what I'm thinking is way over here on the other side, basically like completely away from our rockets. And like over here having like 2 farms. So basically the concept would be like this ladder here and then one farm on one side and one farm on the other. with maybe some robo miners or some way of making sure it stays clear, and setting up some tiles and whatnot to let as much maximum natural light into the bonbon trees. I know we can use mercury lights, but then that involves having to like mine out all this mercury and then making the mercury hot and turning it into a liquid and then pump that liquid into the lights, and it's just blah 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 blah. I'm not against it. It's just I feel like it's a whole lot of effort for kind of minimum return, because it's basically just, I guess, what I call semi low effort ethanol. But if we want low effort ethanol, we can just build an arbor tree farm, which was something I was thinking about doing down here below our polluted waters. They take polluted water and dirt, and we basically have infinite polluted water coming from this polluted water event. You know, I mean, if we want ethanol, we could just, burn wood and turn it into ethanol. So, and what I was thinking for the seals was more for tallow than the ethanol at this point, considering that we could make up a tree farm. But I don't think we need maybe 2 tree farms tops, and realistically, we just need the wood for making ethanol to feed the Bamas. Just kind of, keep the whole circle of life going on in the base. But it looks like our volcano is erupting. Okay, so let us fire this bad boy back up. So we'll put that to below. Our timer times. Yes. Below. Okay, yeah, this is the one we were waiting for. Neither is one of them. Alright. That clicks, says it's green, drops the magma shot, it drops down, says it's hot, says we're good to go, closes the doors, we get more magma in, this heats up. Okay, so this is nice and hot now, which means we can now turn this back on, which should then heat this tile back up, which should then heat up all of this petroleum. Which then should hopefully sends a right signal, says, hey, no more petroleum, no more oil there. So we can now reconnect these pipes, and this should, yep, there it goes. You can see the black oil going through our valve. I do like how it's color coordinated based on what color is going through it. So it's like black for crude oil. And if we look at our aqua tuners, these clear areas are yellow for petroleum and whatnot. I think it's a nice little touch. I think that's one of my favorite things about this game is just the ridiculous amount of detail to the artistic vision of the game, I guess, realistically. Like, it just looks so good, and like the more you zoom in, the more details you can see in the game and stuff and whatnot. It's just, I find the game to be, at the very least, very visually pleasing to watch and stare at. So it's one of my biggest draws to the game, and it seems like this is working for right now. But yeah, I did tell you guys we had to empty this out. So what happens, I just broke this tile here and just let all of the petroleum dump out. It fell, and now is we kind of have a bit of a sea of petroleum in here with the rest of our sea of polluted mix of gross water that we will eventually get cleaned up. But yeah, that's that's that. Our petroleum is now finally up and running. Hopefully this will keep it cool. That's one of the modifications I made to the oil boiler is I actually set up instead of having it come all the way down and around, I had it come in down here through the bottom and actually start drawing heat out immediately around the liquid pump and basically treat the cold oil coming in as the first line of defense to try to keep our liquid pump kind of on the cooler side. So hopefully that should help keep it from getting too hot and breaking on us. Hopefully that prevents it. These things aren't ever perfect, at least never perfect for me. I'm sure there's other people on the internet that are capable of getting these things to run without any issues. I am not one of those people. I end up having to rip and get back into this thing probably about 5 or 6 different times before I can finally get it to, run without any real issues. So, but we got that going. We do have some circuit overload, and that's right here. Okay, perfect. We need to get that addressed. We'll go with iron. Since iron is more renewable than everything else, we'll get that done. How's this look? Is this spitting any iron out yet? No. We're still sitting close to 100 degrees. And I think I got this set to 70. Yeah. And this is set to 60. We want this to basically always be trying to go below what we have this set, so that way we have a little bit of stored chill to combat the heat. And I can't remember if I included this in an episode or not, but I actually got this loop up and running more appropriately. And my problem was I had this bridge from the loader after the valve instead of before the valve. So what was happening was it was trying to put the iron here, and then the iron was trying to go both forward and backwards and going out the valve and trying to go out our little rail valve right here. Or conveyor shut off. It's a valve. It's the same thing. And it was causing the whole thing not wanting to go around in a loop. So what I did is I flipped it and put it before the conveyor shut off, so that way now it has only one way to go because there's an out. So that is how we were able to fix that. This still stutters. I'm not sure how to fix it. My only real thought for how to fix this is to move this conveyor shutoff valve over to here where the T-junction is, so that way it's not trying to decide if it goes to the left or to the right, and it's just, do I go to the right or to the left, but it's got less of a thought it has to do, I guess. That's the best way for me to put it. And it's mostly just because there's 2 ends right here, so it causes a bit of a stutter. Realistically, I don't think... I guess maybe we could put the bridge here instead. That might make it that might have made it a little bit more consistent. And it is what it is at this point. Trying to get back in there at this point to try to fix it is just going to be a bit obnoxious, and I'm not, I am not trying to rip up all that aluminum block and whatnot and stuff, so we're just going to leave it as it is. It's working. It could be more efficient, not going to lie. Could definitely be way more efficient. But it works, and I don't feel like trying to fix it anymore. I've had my share of fixing things for the moment. Maybe we'll fix it in a different episode. But right now, I want to build things and make things work. So what we got going on over here? Pressure too much? Is it too much pressure? Too much oxygen in here? Yeah, or 10,000, and we're sitting at like 20,000. Where is... Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where all the excess oxygen is coming from. We got all this carbon dioxide down here. Yeah, for the most part, the carbon dioxide has made most of its way down to our oil biome now, so that way it can feed the slicksters we have. Thankfully, not all of them are dead yet. I have managed to not flood and or kill all of the slicksters, so we can start a slickster farm. That is on the list of ideas to get done, but not right now. I feel like we got other things for them to do. That is building our space area. So I'm gonna do a little montage of them building, and I'll be back after that. All right. Well, now that we've got that all built up for the most part, we just got to do a little bit of cleaning, like some mopping, some sweeping. We got to get some more plastic production going. We just ran out of plastic. I mean, we were pretty close to having it done. As you saw during the montage, we just need to come down here to our plastic or our oil and get that sorted. So I guess the real question is do we technically run a double pipe? And what I mean by that is, do we have all of our crude oil head over here first to tie into this and make sure that we always have crude oil here to make petroleum for plastic? I feel like that's the move. I really do. I feel like that is the more appropriate move. So this is coming back, so we run guess we can go Cemetery Rock. We need to do some more mining. We are we're running out of what is it? We're running out of minerals. Oh, and then come up here. Yeah. All right. So then what we do is we run. Yeah, so that's the pump. That would go this way first. We separate that. Out of that too. I guess we'll go with some obsidian. Yeah, we are we're running low on minerals. We need to strip mine some locations. Go some mafic rock. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so we got that, and now we just need to do a liquid bridge. We need to go one here. We actually need to flip this around and make it go back up. Yeah, we need to make this go back up. So we need to drain this. So I feel like we are done putting oil in that coolant loop. Yeah. No, we go with some cheap mafic rock. We're not, it's just oil. We don't have to worry about it venting. Oh, we went the wrong way with that. Son of a, and now area here. There. All right. So we have that. Come this way, that come this. Oh, why am I? Well, that's, yeah, that was silly. No need to do that. Oh, no, actually. Yeah, that actually works out reasonably okay, because then we can add that to that. So this pumps, this will just go on when it can, when there's not pressure blocking it. And it comes down, it'll come down, come through, plug in. Then it'll all loop back around, follow this, go up, and we don't need to worry about the leaky fissure because that can just always go into there. No need to try to fight to bring that in. I mean, we got this. That's almost basically a pipe's worth anyways. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely high priority. There, dupes. So when they wake up, they'll get that done. But yeah, as you guys saw, our shutoff system worked out pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want this maybe a little lower or a little bit more time. I'm gonna go with lower. I'm gonna go with 200. It's above 200 pump, and this is above 400. Like, give the no-go. And this should help us conserve magma and oil and whatnot. I mean, I don't think we need to conserve oil anymore, but yeah, I mean, we did have some of our new dupes that I got specifically for the sleeping thing kind of die. I feel bad for Ari. That was my bad, though. I should have probably gotten frost resistant and or suit wearing dupes only. But I figured, that wouldn't be that far of a distance to travel to get food and then go back and go to sleep. Like, when they're moving so slow, even on these plastic ladders, that was ridiculous. I mean, look how slow they're going. They're moving. But you'd think they would move faster. Oh, wait a minute. That's actually can improve. No, it reduce. All right, this slows down. That's slower, right? Yeah, this is faster. I mean, we don't want to make them slower. Well, wood adds a speed buff. I guess we can trick out our residential area a little bit more with some more wood. This should have the shiny thing on it, and it will add our critter collar. Oh yeah, we need to activate our story thing over here. Alright. Meaning the initial quota of dream content analyst has triggered a surge of electromagnetic activity that appears to be enhancing performance for duplicates everywhere. If my duplicates can keep this building filled with dream journals, perhaps we will continue to reap this benefit. A small side compartment has also popped open, revealing an unfamiliar object. A keepsake, perhaps? Unlock maximum aptitude mode. And we got another thing to add to our thing. Let's fire it up. Okay, bam. Fully restored. Analyzing dreams for a really long time. And if we can just keep it topped up with dream journals, which it looks like we actually are getting a backlog of dream journals, that should work out pretty good. Do all of our see, I knew. Pajamas. And where are these pajamas? Over here. Alright, and we will relocate them to here. And I kind of figured you'd drop your pajamas for somebody else to wear. I mean, yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to wear some other dead dupe's pajamas either. I don't feel bad, but we get the ammo suit back if they die in it, though. I don't know why we're getting wrong element in here. I mean, this is feels pretty difficult for it to get the wrong element. What else did we... And... Oh, because we got this full. Okay, that's what's going on. I'm not going crazy. I just got distracted. Okay, so let's deconstruct that. Let us reconnect that. And what? Just as it comes across the bend, we give it the snip. That should let it start looping around without any issues. Maybe? Yeah, is it? Yeah, no, it doesn't look stopped up or anything. Oh, yeah, no, that's good. Alright, and now our petroleum generators are running. Everything's firing on all cylinders. We're getting steel made. We're getting some iron produced. I feel like that should probably be it for this little bit. Let's check on our oil. So I know they were working kind of hard on that. We need to flip that one around still. Oh, we're running out of resources. We really need to get them to mine up some of this stuff. Because we are out of minerals. We can't even finish the pipe right now. Just trying to think of what biome we might want to rip apart. I mean, we want to finish up the oil biome because it's got all the lead and stuff we need to finish our power line. Now, I do know in the Spaced Out DLC, you know, you definitely don't want to be using your lead mostly just for your power system. You do need to save some of it for radiation suits, but there's no radiation in the base game. So we don't have to do that. We can spend all of our lead on power. Alright, and let me just get, oh, yeah, cancel, oh, it's on buildings, not liquid pipes. Liquid pipe. And then what can we got indigenous rock. We can replace it all with indigenous rock. There we go. And then we need to put our bridges so we can draw. Which way is that one? Oh yeah, it's facing the wrong way also. And so is that one. So we need to break that one also. Alright. I'm going to get this finished up in the background. And I will see you guys all in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe.